Hi everyone, welcome to Canalizacion Armonia. This is Luz and I'm channeling something I just downloaded right after my yoga class right now. So I wanted to share this and it was messages I was channeling right after and one of the big ones. So in summary, this energy is about overdue patterns of thinking that pressure is needed to succeed. Overdue patterns that believe that pressure is needed in order to succeed. I'm shuffle this spread right now. And definitely, this energy is coming through this reading and the cards as well. This energy of needing tightness. Also, there's also quite literal and physical message about this of wearing like tight clothes or just wearing a really tight ponytail, I don't know, in order to make a good impression when it's really not you or when it really makes you uncomfortable. But you were raised believing this, that you need this in order to, look good and others to accept you or to go to an interview and get that job, in which that job believes that being all tidied up is needed in order to succeed. We got the raccoon here, and that's a card of like more about artists and talent, but I want to read it to you. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. Raccoon energy is a play with all artists to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadowed side points to unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, competitive, starving artist. To bring it into balance, make new work. Yeah, there's a need of like making yourself turn somewhere else. If you're like in a job, of course you're not gonna like just quit your job. There's people who don't have that privilege. They have to keep going. But perhaps a sense of competitiveness here is coming to be transmuted in order for you to be free with the freedom card. And we also have this energy of you maybe seeing dragonflies, and I know it's spring and I know it's gonna be summer and a lot of parts of the world, and you might say this is just a season, but believe me, your spirit guides talk to you through bugs, through winged beings, through feather beings. So paying attention to that too, and what you're feeling, what you're thinking in that moment when you see them. Okay, that's gonna be some other message for someone here. You're really connected to the earth energy here with the Pentacles card. And even the Wands energy, like that fire of clarity, and the moment you get to transmute these beliefs, and all of that, it might be when you notice like these animals or beings. And if you look at nature and animals, they hunt so effortlessly. They hunt every day. It's not like they wait to the last moment to be pressured and to procrastinate and be in a sense of rush to feed their pack or their cubs. No, like they feed every day, so they don't exactly, so they don't have to go through that. Perhaps, I don't know, I'm a human having this point of view about it, but nature works as it works, and it'll always be like partially a mystery to humans, right? But we can learn from it as well. And maybe this thing about who my audience thinks I am, maybe it's time for you to release all of those fragments that you think that your identity is right now, and move forward. Yeah, because there's a sense of like you're focusing a lot on your job or career and the grinding culture, with these cards in reverse, with the Eight of Pentacles reverse and the Ten of Wands reverse. Maybe you're carrying too much responsibility. Maybe you need to share the errands, for example, where you live, whether it's with family or a romantic partner or roommates or whatever. Maybe you need to ask for help for what you need. Yeah, because there is this belief that is overdue now, that maybe you grew up with, in the environment that you grew up with, of like, to be, in order to be productive, you need to be in stressful state all the time. Your nervous system needs to be high wired all the time. Your adrenal glands need to be like all like out of balance, really, with this working culture all the time. But yeah, like for example, we also got allow myself to ask for what I need, and that's what I was just saying. Like you need to ask for what you need, and because we got this affirmation, it makes me feel that you really need to share responsibilities right now, or to leave some work to, I don't know, to the next employee. You need to tell your manager, you know what, I cannot take on all of these tasks. I'm gonna take on half of them only. That's just an example for some of you, but I feel like, yeah, there's this like impression that you have grown up with, and this part is right now crumbling from your identity of needing to do that, and that's bringing you a lot of freedom, really. um let's read the freedom card now. So this is a card about choice over obligation, inviting enjoyment and inspiration into your life and discovering what freedom means to you. Bring a deeper sense of freedom to a situation. A limitation may be a state of mind. A shift of perspective can help bring a sense of lightness and choice. Also consider what freedom looks like to you in the bigger picture of your life. Yeah, because we got this like beliefs that you need to carry a lot on your shoulders. That one's reversed. You need to do that so you can feel fulfilled, so you can feel worthy, really, of people's love, perhaps, or acceptance. We also have let go of resentment and hatred by releasing the need to punish myself and others. Yeah, like if you were punished as a person when you were little, maybe when you were a teen or whatever, when you lived under somebody's care, with your caregivers, this might resonate a lot, actually. And this message is for you, okay? So you don't need to keep putting yourself in a tight little box in order for you to fit in everywhere. Whether this is work, whether this is just your creative projects or anything like this, you're being asked to maybe take care of your spending habits right now and really get in touch with that, with like maybe turning towards a minimalistic life. A minimalist life. Is that how you say it? Yeah, when you live with not so many material things around you. Maybe you don't need a car of the year, to move around. Maybe you want to ride your bike instead of driving, instead of even buying a car. Maybe you want to consider turning into a spiritual practice or your embodiment practice here with the raccoon and making you work with the advice of the raccoon card, like it says on the booklet. To make the new work, the spirit is saying is perhaps go back to that meditation or chanting class, or even just practice, practicing on your own at home or whatever you find yourself in, whatever spot you want to go to focus and ground. Maybe a park, maybe the beach, if you have the privilege of having access to a beach body or lake body. Maybe going to your swimming again if you don't have the access to having an actual swimming class. Spirit is saying that's gonna bring you a sense of freedom, and you're gonna focus on that more, and maybe turn a little away from carrying many projects, carrying so many responsibilities, maybe taking care of your family like the whole time, 7 days a week. Maybe you want to find that day for yourself, like the raccoon card was saying, and taking away that identity mask that you are not. Maybe you're not. Maybe this is just some of you. For a couple of you, this is gonna be like parenting, quite literally, like taking care of children, and you remembering who you are and your identity. And it's okay. Do not punish yourself, like the affirmation card was saying. Do not punish yourself for forgetting who you were, maybe for a couple years, maybe even more, because you had to, turn into a parent all of a sudden, because that's hard. And like you remembering your identity is gonna take you time to reconstruct who you were, picking up the pieces and the fragments of who you were and applying it to your life right now, to your freedom, and all of this energy points that you need to come in contact with the freedom card, because it also says liberation as a shift in perspective. You shift in your perspective, like, yeah, maybe you don't need to work the whole time, 7 days a week. Maybe you can take a time to make new work, meaning that you make a new schedule and you have once a week you go swimming, and that really grounds you and makes you embody yourself, and that's really nourishing to you. And yeah, and you get rid of all these pieces of identity and you ignore all of these energies that are real competitive towards you. And maybe this is just your parents, they raised you thinking that you need to compete for everything in order to be happy, and that's being transmuted. Spirit is also saying, okay? So yeah, what else is coming through, Spirit? Having a framework for what it can be means even more freedom can flourish. My eyes fall on this excerpt from the Freedom card, and yeah, Spirit wanted to close off with that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, take care.